moving some energy around. I want to kind of shake it up today. Let's just get into our bodies, just start to bounce around a little bit. You can close your eyes if that makes you feel more comfortable. Just let your body be loose. Couple more seconds here, just rocking around. And then find some stillness, bring your feet about hip width apart. Close down the eyes if that feels okay. Just bring your arms down by your sides and just notice where the weight is in your feet. Notice where in your body right now may need some extra breath. Start to send your breath there. We're going to start today with something called Breath of Joy. And this is an exercise that's just going to really get us into our bodies, get us into the present moment. So it goes like this. We're going to inhale 3 times and then exhale on the way down. So you inhale, you bring your arms overhead. Inhale again out to the side. Inhale overhead. And then exhale, come down into a forward fold. But it happens pretty fast, so I'll do kind of one demo here, and then we'll do this 5 times. So it goes. So you breathe in 3 times like this through your nose, and then out through your mouth as you come down. We're going to do this 5 times, and on the 5th time, just land in your forward fold, and we'll keep it there, and just let everything settle in what you've just done with the breath. So we'll start here. We're ready. Let's go. And hold at the bottom in your fold after you've done your 5th time. Just let the head be really heavy. You can keep going with that breath if you want to. It's just a really nice way to bring awareness to your breath and your body. And if you feel like that was a good starting place for you, then we'll meet in our forward fold here. We'll take one more breath. And then just start to walk the hands out and the feet. We'll make our way down into a tabletop position. From here, we'll start to connect breath to movement. So on your inhale, let the chin come up and the tailbone move into cow. And push the spine up, round it up into cat on the exhale. 2 more times like this. Following your own breath and speed. Then we'll come back into neutral. And just start to push the ribs out from side to side. Maybe look back and forth. You can bring your hands slightly forward and the knees closer together, and we'll barrel roll. Just get into the hips, warm up the wrists. Just move the spine around in any way that feels good this morning. It's supportive. And then with the knees together, come all the way down, bring the forearms in. So this position, when we're crunched into a little ball like this, is called a lumbar lock. So we want to be twisting with our upper spine, our thoracic spine. So leave the right arm down, and on the inhale, just twist open to the left, bring the left arm up and to the side. Bring it back down on the exhale. We'll do that 2 more times on this side. Only moving through the upper spine, the T-spine. And once you've done that 3 times, matching your own breath, leave the left arm down, inhale the right arm up. And on the exhales, bring it back into center. One more time. And come back in to this little ball. You can bring the knees slightly wider, reach the fingertips all the way forward, bring the forehead down, come into child's pose. And we'll bring the hands over to the right-hand side of the mat, really stretch through the left side of the body. The forehead can stay down. And just focus on sending your breath into the places that you feel sensation. Let's start to walk the hands through center, bring them all the way over to the left, forehead back down. And then we'll bring the hands back into center, lift back up into our tabletop, tuck the toes under, and just pick the knees up just 1 inch. Hold here, start to turn on the core. One more breath. And then lift the hips all the way back up behind you, coming into our downward facing dog. Wiggle out through the feet, pedal them out, walk the dog, maybe pick up the ankles, roll them out, and then find some stillness, take 2 breaths. From here, we're going to bring the feet just a little bit closer together, pick up the right foot, bring it all the way back behind you. You can open up the hip if you want to here and bend the knee and just do a couple of these big knee circles so you can get a couple more cracks in the hips. But then we'll come back to squared hips towards the mat. The back foot is up behind you. And then this is kind of challenging, but see if you can do it. Just start to bend the left knee, come all the way down onto the left knee, the right foot stays up back behind you. So we're kind of now in our like half bird dog. We're going to bring this left foot just a little bit out to the side and the right arm all the way up. So the right foot is out to the side and the right arm is up. If you want to do a little bit of core here, you can bring elbow to knee and hold, or you can grab onto that knee for a bit more of a hip opener. And release, start to come back down with the hands. Tuck the left toes under, the right foot goes back out behind you. Lift back up into that 3-legged dog. And then bring the right foot all the way forward between the hands. Lift up all the way, come into your high lunge, your crescent lunge. And then we're going to make this a little dynamic this morning. On your inhales, we're going to bounce forward off of that back foot and kick in front of us. So reach forward, kick with the left foot, take it all the way back behind you, back into that lunge. So it requires balance through the movements. Match your motion to your breath. So we're going to do 4 more like that. So you can make the noises if you want to while you're kicking. Inhale forward and kick. Exhale, take it back behind you. 1 more time. Back behind, we're going to land back in our high lunge. Take a breath here. And then spin on the back foot coming into your warrior 2. Take a breath. Send your hips back behind you, start to straighten this front leg. Reach for the shin, come into triangle. And then we'll take it all the way up and through warrior 2 to exalted warrior. Reach that right arm overhead. Start to windmill the arms back to frame the front foot. Take the right foot beside the left, hold plank. And then bring the knees down, lower all the way to the front of the body. We're going to bring the hands slightly out in front, loop the shoulders up, back, and down, pull up into cobra. And release on the exhale. 2 more times. Come up on the inhale into cobra. And release back down on the exhale. Pull through the finger pads. Inhale, loop the shoulders up and back. And exhale, release. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. We'll push up through our tabletop, back into our down dog. 2 breaths here, make it restful. And then bring the feet slightly closer together, lift up that left foot. At first, you can bend the knee and do some of the knee circles. And then we'll square the hips back towards the mat. Bring the right knee all the way down, untuck the toes. So the left foot is back behind us. Pivot just slightly on the right leg, and inhale the left arm up. Holding here. If you want to bring it in for that crunch, if you're working on some core strength, you can grab it onto the knee and open up the hip a little bit more. Whatever feels best in your body. Start to bring the hands back towards the mat. Tuck the right toes under. Lift back up into your three-legged dog. And then we'll swoop the left foot through to the front of the mat. Come up into your high lunge. Take a breath here. We're going to do our 5 kicks on this side. Bringing the energy up a little bit. So on your inhales, come forward and kick. Exhale, send that foot all the way to the back of the mat for your lunge. 3 more times. If you fall out of it, just come right back in. You can make some noises, release some energy. And after you've done that 5 times, we'll land back in our high lunge. Take a breath. Pivot on the back foot, come into your warrior 2. And then we'll start to straighten that front leg, send the hips back behind you, reach for the shin, triangle. Start to lift up through your warrior 2, come into exalted warrior. Left hand goes overhead. And then we'll cartwheel the hands back towards the mat, freeing the left foot. Take it beside the right. So we're in plank. You can do the same vinyasa we just did, or move through chaturanga, upward facing dog, into your downward dog. 2 breaths here. From here, we're going to do some of our waves. So wave the spine all the way forward until you're in plank, and then all the way back until you're in your downward dog. Inhale, come forward, and exhale, go back. 2 more times. Following your breath. And then once you're back in your downward dog, bring the knees down, sit the hips back, come into child's pose. This time, bring the arms down by your sides. And shake the head a few times back and forth with your forehead on the mat. Just relieve all the tension in the neck. Reconnect with your breath here. And then we'll bring the hands forward. Just push yourself up until you're sitting on your heels. Come up into a tall kneeling position. And then we are going to clasp the fingers behind you, interlace the fingers, and pull down, open up the chest. You can hold here. If you want to make this a little bit more intense, you can hinge at the hips, bring the forehead all the way down, and let gravity take the hands farther back behind you. Toes can be tucked or untucked, whatever feels better. And wherever you are, start to release the hands, come back up into your tall kneeling. Take a breath here. From here, we're just going to pick up this left knee, step the left foot just out in front of you. So now we're in this 90-90 position. And we are going to bring the fingertips all the way forward and then all the way back behind us. Slowly start to rock back and forth. Getting to the hip and the hamstring. And the next time you rock forward, heel toe this left foot to the outer edge of the mat, let the knee come open. And you can stay up here, or you can come down to your elbows, whatever's available to you today, but this is called your lizard pose. If you want to add on to this, you can come back up onto your hands, leave the right hand down, bring the left hand to the left knee, and just use it to open up the chest, turn it into a bit of a twist as you start to look towards the ceiling or the side wall, whatever feels better. One more breath. And then bring that left hand down beside the right, heel toe the left foot back into center. We'll come back to our tall kneeling position. Left foot just comes back beside the right. On your next breath, take the right foot out in front, and we'll rock back and forth on this side. If there's anywhere you want to hold, if you want a bit of a longer stretch in the hamstring, just bring the fingertips back and hold like this, toes up or toes pointing forward. Or if you like the motion and the movement of it, we'll just continue our rocking. The next time you rock forward, heel toe that right foot to the outer edge, let the knee come open, up on the hands or down to the elbows, the lizard on the other side. If you turned it into a twist on the other side, come up onto your hands, leave the left hand down, right hand to right knee. Use that hand on the knee to open up the chest. One more breath. Then bring the hands back down. Heel toe that right foot in. And we'll come all the way back to our tall kneeling. Sit back onto the heels again. We're going to slow it down a little bit. Just make sure there's no tension in the neck for the rest of your day. So from here, bring the left fingertips down. This might be where you might need a block if your fingers don't reach. Left fingertips down as far as they can go, and then just start to bring the right ear closer towards the right shoulder. So we're stretching out through that left side of the neck. You can play around a bit with bringing the nose down towards the shoulder or up towards the ceiling, whatever gives you the most relief. We'll hold here for a few more breaths, just getting into that connective tissue. And send your breath there. Start to come back into center with the head. Let's just do a few neck circles before we move on to the other side. So slowly rotating the neck all the way around. Let's go 2 times in one direction, and then we'll switch and go 2 times in the other. If there's any sticky spots that you land on, you can spend more time there. And then when we come back into neutral, take the right fingertips out beside you, bring the left ear down towards the left shoulder. Again, you can play with bringing the nose down or up, whatever feels best for your neck right now. One more breath. And then we'll come back into center. Let's do a few more of those neck circles, just balance it out. Two in one direction and then switch, go 2 in the other. And then we'll come back into neutral. Shift forward, just take your feet out to the side and swing them out in front. So we are seated. Inhale the arms up overhead, and then just reach out towards your toes or your shins, whatever you can reach today. You can let your head be heavy. And the spine round. And then roll back up to neutral, tent the fingertips behind you, push the chest out in front. And release. Start to bring your feet closer in towards your bum, or your bum closer to your feet. We'll make our way down until we're lying on the mat. From here, just take the feet a little bit wide, let the knees come in to touch. We'll take a breath. Leave your feet where they are and start to windshield wiper the knees back and forth. Releasing the lower back, getting a bit of twisting in. And the next time you're over to the left, you can leave your knees here like this, or you can stack one on top of the other and bring your hands up into a cactus shape or into a T. Big spinal twist to finish our practice. Just bring everything out of the body. One more breath. And then start to come back up with the knees. Windshield wiper them a few times, either way again. And the next time they're over to the right, just let them come all the way down, or down as far as feels good in your body right now. Or you can stack the knees on top of each other, if that feels better. One more deep breath. And then pick up the knees. Last time, windshield wiper them back and forth. And then pick them up, bring them all the way to the chest, give yourself a squeeze. And release everything out long onto the mat, coming into Shavasana, our final resting pose. If there's anything else you feel like you want to do before we come to rest, you can do that now. Otherwise, we bring the arms down by our sides. Bring the breath back to a normal, natural state, and just close down the eyes. Just be here for a few more moments before you start thinking about your afternoon or your to-do list, what you're doing this weekend. Just try to focus on your breathing. Take one more deep breath here as you start to bring yourself back into the room. Bring a little bit of movement to your body, maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start to bring the feet closer in towards you, roll over to one side. And push yourself out to seated. Let's take one collective breath together to finish our practice. You can keep your hands on your knees or bring them into heart center. Let's inhale. Audible exhale. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Hope to see you back here again soon. Namaste, everybody.